Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Vendaga Games. It's been a while and it's good to be back. It's been pretty busy on my end these last couple months, what with holidays, moving again, and discovering that I'm going to become a father. So it's been pretty busy over here on my end of things, so I apologize for the inconsistency in the uploads. And as you can tell, my studio's not really set up right now, but that's okay. Here's another project for you guys, something that took me a couple days here and there to make. It's going to be a pirate ship. I hope you guys really enjoy this project. It was fun, a lot of work, but a lot of detail, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So without further ado, let's get into this project. So to start this project, I have the basic shape cut out with foam and the grid drawn on with a marker. Measured out all the squares on it, and next I'm carving out the bow of the ship with my knife, getting it shaved so that it's got some contour to it, getting the edges cleaned up so that it's a little more smooth than it was before. Next I'm drawing the individual planks on the grid, making sure to keep the grid parts deeper than the plank details themselves, so that the grid still stands out on the ship, just like this. Some side detail for the hull, the very back, the bow. Just some tedious work to get the wood details engraved. And here's the black coat on. The details are coming out nice. Next we're going to get some of this thin cardboard. And using this, we're going to make the deck rails of the ship. Here you can see this little pattern that I've got drawn out. I'm just going to be cutting these out and bending them and gluing them to the sides of the ship. And these I have measured at 1 inch tall on the railing parts. Portions of the railing drop down about 1/2 inch too. This allows sailors to look over the edge, pull a cannon up to it, or if you have a plank, you can send some scurvy landlubbers over the side with them. Next, we're going to be gluing this onto the side, and so you want to glue this little bits at a time. This hot glue gun I use dries very quickly, so I like to apply the position piece on first and then apply the rest on slowly. With these extra little pieces here, I'm going to be adding these for the upper deck of the bow of the ship. This is going to be the captain's cabin near the stern of the ship. Here we're making the door of the captain's cabin with a toothpick and some pieces of cardboard, trimming off the ends of it for the right height. And there you can see it's able to open and close pretty nice. This might require a little extra glue on the inside just to give it that extra durability and strength. And here I added another wall and door to the back part. Next I'm going to be using some craft sticks to make some 1-inch pieces. This is going to be for a somewhat fancy railing for the back of the ship, of the captain's cabin. Here glued each little piece on and then added some longer sticks to the top of the railing as well as the bottom. And the same on the front of the bow of the ship here. Next we're going to be installing the bowsprit. To do this I'm going to be taking a brush and making a hole here in the bow of the ship, and then getting a larger brush to open the hole up a little bit more, gluing this piece of wood in so that it stays in firm, as well as adding a second dowel directly beneath it, just for some extra character and strength as well. And there's the bowsprit. Next, we're going to be making the quarterdeck. And to do this, I added a piece of cardboard, cut some grid lines in it, and then I added some sides and some support pieces, as well as some beads that I used to decorate the corners. And then these are some extra wood pieces I found with some holes in the middle. These are going to hold the mast in place. Adding a little extra to the bowsprit here for the mast that'll be attached, as well as some strengthening of the quarterdeck. And here's the coat of brown paint on. It's looking so cool, you guys. I'm so excited for this project. Now we just need to add a little bit more detail. Mixing a little bit of white paint into the brown we already used, we're going to make this brown a little lighter so that we can dry brush this paint onto the deck. Getting rid of excess paint so that we just get a light bit of this coloration and just dry brushing it all over this thing to make it have an aged appearance. And some of the grid lines might get lost in the details, so getting a black pen, you can go over and make those stand out a little bit better once it's all painted. And getting lots of popsicle sticks, we're going to be making some stairs, and we're going to be attaching these to the ship. And you can see I added some railing as well to the sides, big enough that characters can stand on them even. And I even added some to the front leading up to the bow. Here's the helm. I used some toothpicks, some random wood pieces from the craft store, and some beads. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And there it's painted and fastened to the quarterdeck, ready to sail. Here are the masts, using some different sized wood dowels and some cardboard and some wood chips. And there they are, painted and set in place, looking fantastic. Here is the rigging, using string and toothpicks and some hot glue and a lot of patience. This just loops over the crow's nest like that. And at the bottom of the rigging, I just have some toothpick pieces in place so that you can kind of just puncture them into the deck so that it holds it in place nice and tight. For the second set of rigging, we also did a similar trick, this time installing it right behind the helm of the quarterdeck. Using some lighter color brown paint to paint the rigging. A lot of detail work and a lot of brushing to get an even coat on everything. Made a huge mess, but I like the way it turned out. I like the color. Here's a scrap piece of galvanized metal screen I'm going to be cutting into a 1 by 2 inch space to cover over this dark area I'm painting for the below decks area. Using some gray and some silver, I mixed them together to get kind of a metallic-y metal looking part, but I wasn't quite happy with it, so I added a little bit of brown to give it kind of a rusty tinge. But even that wasn't good enough, so I just got a big glob of the darker paint I had sitting over there, and I was finally satisfied with the coloration. Fastened it on with some hot glue, and it turned out looking so cool. I'm very happy with the way that looks. And to top it off, I made a little anchor to sit on the side of the ship as well near the bow. And to make some removable sails for the masts, I just used some cardstock and curved them near the top so that they just hook over the top of the masts. And then for the flying jib there on the bowsprit, I just glued some string so that it just hooks over the front and over the crow's nest as well. And now this ship is ready to set sail for adventure on the high seas. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I do have a tutorial on how to make the Kraken in this video as well, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Please like and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or leave a suggestion if you guys would like to see me make anything else. I'll hopefully be coming out with some more content in the near future. I'd like to keep rolling on it since I've been so slack with it lately. But I'm back, and I'm glad to be back. I missed you guys, and I missed doing these projects with you. So, this is it for now, but until we meet again.